What's up? How y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel. Today is Wednesday, January 30th. Y'all, January is gone. I can't believe it. I can't believe that it's gone already. January 2019 is over tomorrow. I can't believe that. It's like gone so fast. But I just want to point out that I am cold today and I have my t-shirt on. I have my cowl neck on. I have a flannel, jeans, fuzzy socks. I got my space heater right here next to me on the floor because it's so chilly in my house. Because, I mean, let's be real. It's not insulated that well. So, I'm just really cold. Anyway, in today's video, I'm going to talk about how I relocated to Florida and what I did. I sold everything that I owned at the time, except for my personal belongings, and my husband and I moved to Florida. So if you're interested in hearing about how we did that, then keep watching. So let me just set up the story because it's kind of a long one. So this might be a long video. Sorry about that. Anyway, let me just set it all up. So I lived in Florida a couple of times, and this particular time right now is my third attempt at living in Florida and relocating here. The first two times, about 13 years ago, 14 years ago, let's see. The first time I moved here, I believe my daughter, my youngest, was like 4 and 5. She was in pre-K maybe, kindergarten, and she is now about to be 21 years old. So that tells you how long I've been trying to move to Florida and relocate over here, and this time it has finally happened and now I stayed. So the two times previous, it just didn't work out and I didn't end up staying. I went back home for various reasons, and I told myself that I will not uproot my children again to move them halfway across the country. It's a dream of mine, not theirs, and they were making friends and getting older and all that stuff. So last time I tried to move here was about 13 years ago, and I said I won't make them move again. I will wait until they graduate high school or college out on their own, doing whatever they're doing, and very independent to where they didn't need to depend on me so much. So that's exactly what we did. I then, during the, 13 years that it's been, I kind of set myself up to, because I knew in my mind that I would be moving back here. So in that time frame, I did a lot of research on Florida and the area that I wanted to live in. I knew I did not want to go back to the area that I was in when I was first down here, which is the Kissimmee, Orlando area. It just wasn't my favorite at the time. I don't really have any other problem with it. It's just very congested in that area. Not to say that it's not over here, but that area, because it's Disney, is very congested and there's so much traffic and just so much to deal with. Like, I know a fellow YouTuber that lives in that area. He does not know who I am, but I have watched his videos, and that is Florida Suburban Dad. So if you're interested in anything about like Osceola County, where he lives in Kissimmee, that's where I used to live, I might be able to answer some of those kind of questions for you, but not very many. But Florida Suburban Dad lives in Kissimmee, Orlando area, and can answer anything about Osceola County, probably Florida. So if you want to refer to him. Otherwise, I live right now currently in Pinellas County, which is located on the Gulf of Mexico, and it's the Clearwater area. That is where I relocated to. And I did that because we used to come down here. The way I found the area that I live in now is that my husband and I used to vacation down here. We came down here like 3 or 4 years in a row. Mind you, I already knew that I was going to be relocating back down here. I just didn't know the area that I wanted to live in, but I did know that I did not want to live in the Kissimmee area again. I will visit there because I do enjoy going to, you know, the parks sometimes because it gets overwhelming. I do like going to Old Town over there, and just they have a lot of activities in that area that you can do, as well as over here where I'm at now. Anyway, so we vacationed down here, and we found this area almost by accident. We were staying at one of the resorts that we rented when we were down here, and which was on Clearwater Beach, and someone told us about this area that we're in right now, and told us, you know, hey, do you know about these little beaches that are over here along the coast? And we were like, no, we don't really know about those. And they're like, yeah, go check them out, you probably like them. They're not as crowded as Clearwater Beach, and it's more for locals. And we knew that we were coming down here to live, and we didn't, you know, exactly know when, but, you know, at the time, but we did know we were going to move down here. So we started checking out the area. We found where we live now, and we really, really did like it. So with that in mind, I started to set myself up. I did a lot of research in the area, which is Pinellas County. And I am in very north Pinellas County, which Pinellas County goes from, Tarpon Springs all the way down to St. Pete is Pinellas County, if you look on a map. So I started to set myself up, you know, the closer I got to like my daughter graduating high school and going into college, going away to college and stuff, the more I started to set myself up for jobs down here and just doing a lot of research from the area. So I went to school. I earned a college degree before I moved down here, just because I always told myself that I want to graduate from college before my daughter graduates high school. And let me tell you, I think I made that goal by like 2 weeks. I graduated with a college degree, an associate degree in human services in May of 2016. And my daughter graduated high school in June of 2016. So it was literally, or maybe, whatever the dates were, I can't remember exactly, but they were literally just a couple weeks apart. And I always said that, I was going to do that, and I met that goal, and I was so proud. I was so proud of myself. But anyway, I set myself up. That's what I was doing. So I knew for years that I was going to be moving back over here. So I started looking up jobs in the area. I started looking at the specific job that I wanted with a specific organization, and I looked up what it would take, what type of education and experience I would need in order to fill that position. So that's what I did. I set myself up for that. Then we did all of our research, and we found the area that we live in now is North Pinellas County, and we started looking at houses and stuff like that. We did not buy a home when we moved down here, just because we weren't really sure of the area. We didn't want to buy without exactly knowing what the area was like that we live in. And good thing we didn't, because while we do love this area, it is very low in crime, and it is a beautiful area. It's not exactly where we would choose to be. Like, you know, in my goals for 2019 is to save money to purchase a home, and I would still be in Pinellas County. I'm thinking at this point, that could change, excuse me, but I think it will be further south, as far as like Clearwater and Largo, somewhere in that area, maybe. That could very well change over the next year. I don't know. But so what I started to do back home was I was thinking about, do I want to rent, like my brother did, a 20-foot U-Haul and haul my car down here and drive our other vehicle and do all of that with all of our belongings? Or did I want to sell everything that I own and repurchase when I got here? And the decision was made that we sold everything that we owned, big items, and we repurchased once we got here. And the reason that we did that, because we have our own reasons, and you might have yours if you're considering doing this. My brother had his reasons because he actually moved down here a whole different way than we did. So the reason that we did that, here is the thing. My husband and I were coming down here. We had no place to live. We had no jobs. We literally sold everything that we had, loaded up our cars, which is a Chevy Equinox and a Pontiac Vibe, and we attached, I think it's a 5x8 trailer from U-Haul. That is what we drove down here. Reason being, we made that choice was because we didn't have a place to live and we didn't have jobs yet. We literally sold everything, dropped everything, and went. And this was in August of 2018. 2017. So the reason that we sold everything, you know, that I felt that we would sell everything was, one, I had a lot of the things that I owned back home for a very long time and wanted to like repurchase. Not that it was in bad shape or anything like that. It's just that I wanted a new style, I guess you could say, because living up north in the Midwest and then you come down to Florida, like the style of your furnishings and stuff like that changes when you make that kind of a move. I don't know. Up north, I have very dark furniture and everything was very just dark and warm colors because it's cold all the time. And here you get more of the cool colors and the white tones and cream and yellows and, you know, stuff like that, and blues because you're by the beach. So that was my thinking you know, behind that. And so I sold all of my big furniture, living room furniture. My kids bought a lot of my stuff. Remember, I have 3 children. They're grown, they're adults, and they either bought a lot of my stuff or I gave a lot of the stuff to them. We gave our son the king size bed and purchased a new one. Our daughters, because they were living together at the time, had an apartment together, so they kind of bought off of us like the living room furniture and stuff like that, and I just gave away a lot of stuff. But then I did sell. Remember, I came from a 3-bedroom 1.5 bath attached garage townhome up north, which was filled to the gills. Okay, it was just my husband and myself living in that place by the time we left, and your girl likes to collect things. That's all I'm gonna say. I had art, because I'm like arts and craft stuff like galore, which my granddaughter, she's 10 years old, she got a lot of that stuff, which I know she appreciated all of it because she does so much crafty stuff. Which she has a YouTube channel, which I'm gonna link below, y'all. My channel is called Puppy Girl, and you can go watch her, you guys. She's adorable. Oh my god, she does little tutorials and unboxing of toys and stuff like that. So adorable. Anyway, so I gave a lot of my crafting things to her. So I'm sure my son and my daughter-in-law's house is just filled to the brim with like all kinds of crafting stuff that grandma gave her when she left. So that's what I did. I really sold and gave away. I had rummage sale for like, cause I left in August. So for like May, June, and July pretty much. And I was selling online, as I still do. I was selling on Amazon and Poshmark. And I was just selling everything. And then, you know, it built my bank account, you know, because that's another thing. If you're going to make a move like this, you really got to have some money in your pocket. And that's what I wanted to do, because I knew I had to come down here and I had to rent a kitchenette. And I knew I had to do that until we could get into our house, which is the house that we're in now. So when we got down here, we rented a kitchenette. Because remember, no job, no place to go, no house. So we literally came down here on our savings and the money I made from selling everything, which was almost $20,000. Almost. So we did have a lot of savings, and also there's some credit cards in there too. So if you can do it all on savings, by all means do that. Don't get yourself into any debt if you don't have to. But yeah, so we came down here, we sold everything, we made a date. Like, look, here's the thing, because we would have put that off and put it off until there's never a right time. You're not gonna, you know, a lot of people say, oh yeah, I'll do it, but it's not the right time. When it's the right time? There's never a right time to do anything. You kind of just, if you're a person like me, I kind of just gotta jump all in, you know, because I'll sit around and I'll think it through so hard and be like, nope, it's not the right time. Nope, it's not the right time. Instead, I just go all in, and that's kind of what we did coming down here. My husband, you know, he came kicking and screaming. I'm not gonna lie, he was very opposed to moving down here. He didn't want to because he has a lot of family back home that he, you know, misses them a lot. But he said, you know, you're my wife and I'll go with you and we'll experience this together. So that's what we're doing. And, you know, most days I ask him now and he's like, you know, do you want to go home? No. Do you miss everybody? Well, yeah, we miss everybody, but do we want to go home? No, it's minus 55 degrees there today. No, we don't want to go home. It's 60 degrees and the sun is shining here, and I'm cold. Can you believe it? Anyway, with all of this, like, please understand, it comes with a lot of stress, this move. And both of you, if you're moving down here with someone else or a partner or significant other, whatever, just be sure that both of you are on the same page with things, because it really will put a lot of stress on your relationship. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But so yeah, we sold everything. We loaded up our little Pontiac Vibe and our Chevy Equinox and like a 5x8 trailer from U-Haul. We pulled it, and that wasn't one of the determining factors why we sold everything. Also, is that I didn't want to come down here and rent a storage, like a huge storage, and store all my stuff. I didn't have anywhere to put it, so I was gonna have to, you know, rent a storage and put it all in there. I just really didn't feel like I wanted to do that, and I really wanted to buy new furniture. It was an excuse. That's really all it was, to buy new things. So that's what I did, and we did rent, of course, a small U-Haul storage unit, but it was very small, and I want to say that out of pocket each month might have been like $80, $75, $80, something like that. That it was so small. The trailer to move down here was only $150 to hook it to the Equinox and drive it down. So that's a very cheap move, considering what it would have cost me if I were to rent, you know, a 20-foot truck to move a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, full garage townhouse down here. And in another video, if you leave a comment down below, maybe I can get into another video. I can talk to my brother and my sister-in-law and see if they want to get into a video about what the cost was for them to move down here, because they did all of that. They rented the 20-foot truck and drove and pulled their car down here on a car dolly, and kept most of their belongings, and now their belongings are in a storage unit. So I can, if you leave a comment down below, I can definitely ask them and see if they want to get into that and do a video on that. So just leave me a comment. Ooh, I have to turn this thing down. I'm getting hot now. Turn it down. All right, so yeah, so that's what we did. So we rented a 5x8 pull behind trailer for our Equinox. We paid $150 for that trailer, and we had almost $20,000 in our pockets, and sold everything and came down here. And we rented a kitchenette, which, if you have any questions about the kitchenette that we rented, just leave me a comment down below and I can give you that information. It was kind of expensive. It was it's called Tarpon Shores Inn, and it is on US 19 in Pinellas County, and it's nothing fancy. All we needed was a bed and a shower, and it had a kitchen in it so that we could buy groceries and eat that way, because, you know, just living out of a kitchenette or a hotel room or whatever you would call it, extended stay, gets expensive if you can't cook your own food. So we had a full fridge and a whole kitchenette in there, and the room was fine. They have a pool, and I mean, if you have any questions about it, just leave in the comments below, and I can get you more information if you need it. But I believe it was $435 a week, which wasn't cheap, but it was the area that we wanted to be in. So that's what we did for 3 months. And then after those 3 months, actually 2 months, actually 1 month in, so we got here August, and by September, my son and my daughter-in-law and my granddaughters were down here visiting, and they visited us actually in the hotel. And then right after they left, I think August, September, either end of September, beginning of October, I want to say, or somewhere right about there, September, I believe, my brother, who's not with me now, came down here and he joined us. He was going to relocate with us back then, came down here. He was staying in the room with my husband and myself and him, and we were all staying in the room. It had 2 beds in it, plus, you know, the full fridge and the little kitchenette. So we were fine in there, like, together. We were in there, I believe we were there all for a month altogether, or it could have been 2 months. My brother, I think he stayed with us in that hotel for 2 months. So then we were kind of like, you know, splitting the cost between us and doing all that. So we rented the kitchenette for 3 months. My brother was there with us, and we kind of split the bills at that time, kind of like what we're doing now. So between me and my husband and my brother, my husband and myself, we ended up getting jobs after the two hurricanes, after Irma and Maria passed, or Maria, Irma, whatever order they went in, my husband and I did get jobs, which then gave us the income that we needed to get into our house, and then we moved into our house. So I believe my brother lived here with us for a month. So that was in November of last year. Excuse me, November 2017. Wait. Yeah, November. So in November of 2017, my brother lived in our house with us for like a month, and it just wasn't working out for him here, and my sister-in-law was back home, and he couldn't find a job. It just didn't work. It wasn't the right timing, whatever the case was, and my brother ended up going back home. So my husband and I were here then by ourselves, but we had made it into our house already, and we were so thankful and just so grateful to be in our house already and out of the hotel and the kitchenette, and because at the end of the day, it's really, that's a lot of money. That's kind of like how we did it, you guys. I mean, we sold everything that we owned back home. We kept enough to fit in a little 5x8 pull behind trailer and put it on our Equinox, and we both drove our cars down here, and we put the little bit of stuff that we had left in a little storage unit. I think we paid $75-$80 a month for 3 months. You get the first month free, so technically we only paid 2 months. And that, because on that 4th month we moved everything out, moved into our house. So we went and lived in a kitchenette. We rented that. That was the most expensive part. Like, you need some money for that. If you can't come down here and have a place to stay, somebody to live with, somebody to share the cost of living with, the bills, rent, then you need to factor that in. It's $435 a week. I believe that's what it was when we stayed at Tarpon Shores Inn on US 19 in Tarpon Springs. So it can get expensive. Of course, there are other like hotels and stuff in the area that kitchenettes that you could rent and check out. It might be cheaper if you were looking for something like that. But yeah, that's how we did it, you guys. I set myself up from years ago, and this took years of planning. It wasn't like a whim and I want to go. I mean, like I said, I told you I lived here 2 other times. This is my 3rd relocation to Florida, and this time I'm actually staying. My kids are grown and gone and out of the house, and fingers crossed my baby might end up out here next year with me. She was talking about it, and that would be awesome. If all my kids would just relocate out here, that would be great. But they got good things going on where they're at, so I don't know if that's possible. Then my daughter-in-law, my grandbabies, oh, that would be amazing. But anyway, you guys, so that's how we did it. We literally sold everything that we owned, put it in a little U-Haul, drove it all down here, stayed in a kitchenette. We had a pocket full of money, and we lived off of that for the first 3 months that we were down here. And I'm gonna get into another video because all that was not cash and some of it was credit. So I did rack up a little bit of debt, but that's in another video because 2019 is all about savings and trying to save money now that my brother and sister-in-law are living here and meeting my home buying goals for 2019. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you want to ask me anything about Pinellas County, like we had to register our cars and car insurance, rental rates, anything about the Pinellas County area, feel free to ask me. And I will make a video about that and answer some of your questions. So if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.